Welcome to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily, and today we're going to explore something really fun: English phrases you often hear in movies and TV shows. These are the kinds of expressions that give your English a more natural, cultural feel, and they can help you understand dialogues better when you're watching. Some of them might be casual, some dramatic, and some even humorous, but they all share one thing: they are part of everyday spoken English in popular media.
And I'm Nick. What's great about learning from movies and TV shows is that you get to hear English in context, with emotion, body language, and real-life situations. For example, when a character says, "You've got to be kidding me," it's not just about the words, it's about the tone, the facial expression, and the situation where it's used. Watching these moments can make the phrase much easier to remember, because your brain is connecting the language with the scene you've experienced.
Let's start with one of the most common lines you'll hear. "Are you kidding me?" Or its variation, "You've got to be kidding me." This is used when someone is surprised or can't believe what they just heard. You might hear it in a comedy scene, when something ridiculous happens, or in a drama when someone receives shocking news. It's a short, simple phrase, but very expressive, and it works in many everyday situations too.
Another one you hear all the time is, "Let's get out of here." This usually happens when characters need to leave quickly, either because something exciting is happening or because they are in danger. You might hear it in action films when the hero saves someone, or in romantic comedies when two people decide to escape a boring party together. It's a very cinematic phrase, but it's also natural to use in real life, like when you and your friends decide to leave a place.
Yes, and here's a phrase you'll hear in almost every TV drama: "What's going on?" It's often used when someone walks into a situation and doesn't understand what's happening. It can be serious, like in a police drama, or light and playful, like in a sitcom. This question is useful in real life whenever you want to ask for an explanation about something unexpected.
Then we have, "You won't believe this." In many movies, this is the line just before a character reveals something surprising, dramatic, or even funny. It's a great way to get someone's attention and make them curious. You can also use it in your daily life to create suspense before telling a story, just like movie characters do.
Another classic from both movies and TV is "Long time no see." You'll often hear this when two characters meet after a long time apart. It's informal and friendly, and it's perfect for greeting old friends. It's actually a phrase with an interesting history. It came into English as a direct translation from Chinese many years ago, but now it's completely natural in everyday speech.
And of course, there's, "It's not what it looks like." This is almost a cliché in television and film, often used in funny or awkward situations when someone is caught in a scene that looks bad but isn't what the person thinks. It's a good example of how media can make certain phrases memorable because you associate them with a particular type of scene or emotion.
Another phrase you'll hear in countless movies is "we need to talk." It's often used in dramatic moments, usually when a character wants to discuss something serious or difficult. The interesting thing is, when you hear this in a film, it almost always means there's going to be some kind of emotional or important conversation. In real life, it can sound a little heavy too, so people sometimes use it jokingly among friends when they want to bring up something small, but make it sound serious.
Yes, and one of my personal favorites is, "Don't even think about it." This is a warning phrase, often used in action movies when one character tells another not to do something risky or foolish. In comedies, it's used in a playful way, like when someone reaches for the last slice of pizza and their friend says, "Don't even think about it." It's short, strong, and instantly clear in meaning.
Another one that appears in both films and TV shows is "You owe me one." It's usually said after someone does a favor for another person, and it means the other person now has to return the favor in the future. In dramas, it can sound serious, almost like a debt. In lighter shows, it can be playful and friendly. It's a great example of a phrase that's both idiomatic and easy to remember, because of how often you hear it in entertainment.
Then there's, I have a bad feeling about this. You'll recognize this line if you've watched any adventure or sci-fi films, because it's a favorite among screenwriters. It's said right before something goes wrong, adding suspense for the audience. In real life, it's often used humorously when you think something might not go well, but you say it in a light-hearted way.
A very simple, but cinematic one, is "you can't be serious." This is usually used when a character is shocked or disagrees strongly with what's just been said. It's the kind of phrase that works with a strong tone and clear emphasis on serious, which makes it great for practicing pronunciation and stress patterns in English.
And let's not forget, "over my dead body." It's a dramatic way of refusing permission or showing strong opposition, and it appears in everything from intense thrillers to animated family films. Even though it sounds extreme, it's often said in a joking way in everyday conversation when someone wants to be extra clear they don't agree with an idea.
Another common one in TV shows is "cut to the chase." This is an idiom that means, get to the point and stop talking about unimportant details. It originally comes from old films, where a cut to the chase meant skipping the slow parts of the story and moving straight to the exciting chase scene. Today, it's just a quick, informal way to ask someone to be direct.
Yes, and one I really like is, "you asked for it." In movies, this is usually said just before a character does something dramatic or retaliates in some way. It's a way of saying that someone is responsible for what's about to happen because of their own actions. In daily life, it can be used playfully between friends, especially in situations like games or friendly competitions.
Another phrase you often hear in movies is "make yourself at home." This is a friendly invitation, usually said when someone visits your house. In films, it's often used to show hospitality, or to make a guest feel comfortable. In real life, it works the same way, when you want to let someone know they can relax, sit anywhere, and act like they are in their own home. It's a warm, welcoming phrase, and you'll hear it a lot in family dramas and sitcoms.
Yes, and another classic is, "it's now or never." In action movies, this is the line characters say before they take a big risk or make a bold move. It's a way of saying, this is the only chance we have, so we must do it now. It carries a lot of urgency and drama, but people also use it casually in daily life, like when deciding whether to finally try a new restaurant or make an important phone call.
One that I've noticed appears often in romantic films is "you had me at hello." It's a very sentimental phrase, meaning someone fell in love, or was convinced right from the beginning. It's originally from the movie Jerry Maguire, and because it became so famous, it's still quoted in other films, TV shows, and even in everyday conversation to express instant connection.
And here's a fun one, "I'll take my chances." You often hear this in thrillers or action films when a character decides to do something risky despite the warnings. It shows determination and bravery. In casual conversation, it can also be used playfully, for example when you choose to eat something spicy even though you know it might be too hot for you.
Another well-known line is "better late than never." You hear this in all kinds of shows, from comedies to family series, often when someone arrives late, but at least they still showed up. It's a positive way of saying that doing something late is better than not doing it at all. It's a short phrase, but carries a very encouraging message.
One phrase I always notice in detective or crime series is "spill the beans." This idiom means to reveal a secret or give away information. In dramas, it's sometimes said seriously, but in light-hearted TV shows, it's often used when friends are trying to get gossip from each other. It's colorful, memorable, and easy to use in your own conversations.
Another that's very cinematic is "you're not going to like this." In films, it's usually the line right before someone hears bad news or an unpleasant truth. It builds suspense for the audience and sets the mood for the scene. In everyday life, it can be used in a humorous way, like before telling your friend you accidentally finished their snack.
And finally for this part, a phrase that appears in both intense dramas and light comedies, "we'll cross that bridge when we come to it." This means that you'll deal with a problem only if it actually happens, and not worry about it before. It's a great expression for keeping calm and taking things step by step, which is why it's so common in movie dialogues.
Another phrase you'll hear in many action or spy movies is "time's up." This is usually said when the time allowed for something has ended, maybe the bomb is about to go off, or the deadline has passed. In everyday English, it's also used in classrooms, meetings, or games when the timer runs out. It's short, powerful, and immediately signals urgency.
Yes, and there's also, "don't hold your breath." This one is interesting because it's not about breathing literally. In movies, it's often used sarcastically to tell someone that what they are waiting for is unlikely to happen soon. In real life, if your friend says they'll clean their room but they never do, you might say, "don't hold your breath." It's a funny way to express doubt.
A romantic or dramatic one is "you complete me." This phrase became very famous from the same movie that gave us "You Had Me at Hello." It's used to express deep affection and the feeling that someone makes your life whole. While it's mostly heard in romantic films, people sometimes use it jokingly with friends or family when someone does something they love, like making their favorite meal.
Another very common one in TV dramas is, "it's not what it looks like." This is a classic line when a character is caught in a situation that looks suspicious, but they want to explain it's not what others think. In comedies, it's often used for funny misunderstandings. It's a handy phrase in real life if you find yourself in a similar awkward moment.
One that's great for learners is "you never know." It's a short phrase that's often used in casual dialogue to mean that something is possible, even if it seems unlikely. You hear it a lot in slice-of-life films and sitcoms, usually when characters are discussing the future or taking a chance on something new.
And here's a more intense one: "this is our only shot." In action or sports movies, this means it's the only opportunity to succeed. The word "shot" here means chance or opportunity, not a literal gunshot. In daily conversation, people might use it in a much less dramatic way, like when trying to get a table at a popular restaurant without a reservation.
Another phrase you'll hear in detective series is "I'm on it." It's a quick way to say, "I'll take care of it," or "I'm already working on it." It shows responsibility and readiness. In everyday use, it's great for responding quickly to a task someone gives you.
And finally for this part, one of my favorites, "long story short." This is a way of saying, "I'll skip the details and tell you the main point." In TV shows, it's often used in a character's narration or quick explanations. It's very useful in real life when you don't want to give every detail of a story but still want to explain what happened.
Another phrase you'll hear in many adventure and drama films is "against all odds." It means something was achieved even though the chances of success were very low. In movies, it's often used in inspiring moments. Maybe a sports team wins despite being the underdog, or a hero survives an impossible situation. In everyday life, you can use it when you succeed in something others didn't expect you to.
Yes, and another classic is, "for what it's worth." You hear this when a character is about to give advice, share an opinion, or offer information, especially if they are not sure how useful it will be. In dramas, it's often used in a sincere, emotional way. In casual conversations, it's a polite phrase to soften your words before speaking your mind.
A phrase that's often in crime or mystery TV shows is "keep it between us." This is a request for secrecy, meaning you want someone to keep information private. In thrillers, it can have a dangerous tone, while in comedies it's often about something silly or harmless. In real life, it's a friendly but direct way to say you trust someone not to share your secret.
Another one you'll notice in both comedies and action films is "I'm counting on you." It means someone is depending on another person to succeed or help. In movies, it's often said during tense moments to show trust and responsibility. In daily life, you might say this to a colleague or friend when you really need their help with something important.
One line that's always memorable in romance films is "you're worth it." It's used to express that someone is valuable and deserving, often after a character makes a big sacrifice or effort for someone they love. In advertising, you might even hear it as a slogan. It's a short phrase, but emotionally powerful.
And there's, "You've got to be kidding me." This is common in almost every genre, from sitcoms to thrillers. It's used when someone is shocked, annoyed, or can't believe what they've just heard. It's a great phrase for practicing intonation because the meaning changes depending on the tone, serious, playful, or sarcastic.
Another phrase you often hear in police or investigation shows is "let's get to work." It's a motivating way to signal that it's time to start doing something. In real life, it works well when you're ready to begin a project, a meeting, or even cleaning your house.
And one more for this part is, "It's out of my hands." In films, it's used when a character wants to say that they have no control over a situation anymore. In daily life, it can be a way of expressing that the decision or outcome depends on someone else, not you.
Another phrase you'll often hear in suspense or action films is "there's no turning back." This is used when a character reaches a point where they cannot change their decision or undo their actions. It adds a sense of seriousness and finality to a scene. In everyday situations, it can be used when you've committed to something and can't go back, like after signing an important contract.
Yes, and one that's equally dramatic is, "We're running out of time." In movies, this usually signals a race against the clock, maybe to save someone, catch a criminal, or prevent a disaster. In real life, it's a good way to express urgency during a meeting or before a deadline.
A lighter one you might hear in comedies is "let's call it a day." It's a casual way to say you're finished working for now. In sitcoms, it's often used after a funny or tiring moment. In daily life, it's a polite phrase to suggest stopping an activity when it feels like enough has been done.
Another familiar line in romantic dramas is, "I can't imagine my life without you." It's deeply emotional and often used in heartfelt confessions. While in movies it's meant seriously, in friendly or joking contexts it can be playful, like saying it to a friend who always brings you coffee.
One phrase that pops up often in courtroom or political dramas is "let's get straight to the point." It's a way to say you want to skip small talk and go directly to the main topic. In real life, it's a professional, efficient phrase for business meetings or serious conversations.
And here's a fun one from buddy comedies, "You owe me one." This is said when someone does you a favor and you expect them to return it in the future. In films, it can be used jokingly or seriously depending on the situation. It's short, friendly, and useful in everyday exchanges.
Another phrase common in sports movies is "give it everything you've got." It's a motivational line encouraging someone to put in maximum effort. In everyday life, you can use it to cheer on a friend before a presentation, a performance, or even a workout.
And to finish this section, a phrase you'll often hear in detective series is, "the clock is ticking." It's similar to, "we're running out of time," but adds more suspense. In daily use, it's a great way to remind someone that a deadline or important moment is approaching quickly.
One phrase you'll often hear in superhero or epic adventure films is "with great power comes great responsibility." This line became famous from a comic book movie, and it means that if you have special abilities, influence, or authority, you also have a duty to use them wisely. In real life, it can be used when talking about leadership roles, parenting, or any position of influence.
Yes, and another one that appears a lot in thrillers is, "it's not over yet." In films, this usually means there's still danger, work, or challenges ahead, even if things look resolved. In daily life, you might use it when a project isn't finished, or when there's still more effort needed before celebrating.
A common line in romantic comedies is "you're impossible." It's often said playfully to someone who's being stubborn, funny, or overly dramatic. In serious dramas, it can mean frustration, but in casual conversation, it's a light-hearted way to tease someone.
Another you'll hear in heist or spy movies is, "stick to the plan." It's used to remind a team to follow the agreed strategy, especially when things get chaotic. In everyday situations, it works for group projects, sports games, or even family trips.
A motivational one from sports dramas is play to win. It's an encouragement to give your best effort with the goal of success, not just participation. In everyday life, it can mean approaching any challenge with a confident and determined mindset.
And here's a short but strong one, not a chance. It's used when you want to make it absolutely clear that something will not happen. In movies, it often comes during arguments or tense negotiations. In daily conversation, it's a casual way to say, definitely not.
Another phrase you'll notice in courtroom dramas is "I rest my case." It's traditionally used by lawyers when they've finished presenting their argument, but in everyday speech, it's often used humorously after proving a point in a conversation.
And finally for this section, we're in this together. In films, it's said to build teamwork and show unity, especially in challenging situations. In daily life, it's a reassuring phrase you can use with friends, family, or colleagues to show support.
One more phrase you'll often hear in mystery or suspense series is "follow my lead." In movies, this is usually said by a character who wants others to trust them and do exactly as they do, often during tense or dangerous moments. In real life, it can be a calm, confident way to guide someone through a new situation.
Yes, and another that's popular in both action films and comedies is, "This is just the beginning." In movies, it suggests that the story or challenge is far from over. In daily situations, it's a way to inspire someone to keep going because more opportunities or events are ahead.
A phrase you might notice in dramatic family films is "I did it for you." It's usually said to explain a sacrifice or difficult choice made for someone's benefit. In everyday conversation, it can be used seriously or jokingly depending on the tone and situation.
And finally, there's "you've got this." A motivational phrase heard in sports, friendship, and feel-good movies. It's a short, powerful way to encourage someone and boost their confidence before an important moment.
That's all for today's episode of the British Accent Podcast. We hope these phrases help you enjoy movies and TV shows even more, and give you new expressions to use in your own conversations. Keep listening, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.